Good evening. Stop and search can save lives by getting weapons off the streets, but it remains one of the most controversial police powers. Today, the Met said more efficient searches meant officers are finding more weapons, drugs and evidence of crime, a sign they say that the tactic is working, but it remains deeply divisive, with questions about who gets stopped and why, particularly in black communities. The Met's promising to win back trust, but how long will it take? Cafo Pata reports.
It's a new week and new figures from the Metropolitan Police on how they're keeping London safe. This time focused on the much talked about, somewhat controversial stop and search powers. The new figures show what police have been focusing their efforts on. For example, 57% of searches last year related to suspected drug offences. 24% were to do with weapons and 12% for stolen property.
Actually, the find rate has gone up to 36%. If you go back probably 10 years ago, I think the find rate was in the 24%. So it's bucked the trend. So volumes have gone up, and really the find rate has also gone up with it.
Indeed, these searches resulted in more than 3,000 weapons being seized from suspected criminals. But what is the impact on those who are completely innocent and have nothing to hide?
It's a good policy, but I feel like a lot of work needs to be done.
2 years ago, Josh was subjected to what he called a racist stop and search, an experience which still haunts him to this day.
Profiling the people that, are just going about their day-to-day business like myself, there needs to be more involved with it, how they talk to people, how they treat people,
Do you think there's an element of profiling, like he said?
I think there is, yeah.
Racial profiling?
I think there is, yeah. Like you see a group of kids, they could just be up to playing football, going to football as a group, and instantly they'll be looked at a certain type of way because of what they're dressed, what they're wearing, where they look. I think that's wrong.
There's lots of numbers floating around in these latest stop and search figures. The headline, of course, being about drugs and weapons. But if you look closely, you'll see that nearly 15,000 searches were carried out under Section 60 protocols, which basically means that officers don't have to go through the normal framework, the normal guidelines when carrying out the stop and indeed the search.
It's powers like these that leave community activists like Ken Hines with concerns about stop and search and at times distrust.
These people would take it to the nth, meaning that to show their power, they would arrest me. Yeah. Because there's no consequence for them.
I acknowledge, and we have acknowledged for quite a while, that stop and search done badly burns through trust like nothing I've known before. Hence the reason why we've focused on the quality of the encounter and doing it differently.
It's clear stop and search won't be coming to a stop anytime soon, and to be an effective policing tool, it's not just criminals they have to contend with, but the skeptics and the doubters. Cafo Pata, ITV News.
Now, in the past few minutes, a vigil has begun in Trafalgar Square for Jason Arday, the Cambridge professor born and raised in Clapham, whose death has raised so many difficult questions. He was 41 and he resigned after intense scrutiny of his academic record. Anila Dami joins me here in the studio. And Anila, this is, of course, a chance to remember the life of Jason Arday, but it's also reflecting on some very difficult questions as well.
Well, yes, there are so many unanswered questions, but tonight is about people remembering him, and we can take you to some live picture now of a vigil being held in Trafalgar Square. Jason Arday's parents are there, along with those showing support, and organisers Stand Up to Racism say they expect around 5,000 people to attend the vigil and celebrate his life. Jason Arday was a Londoner. He grew up in Clapham. He attended a primary school in Nine Elms, and he completed a BA and a postgraduate certificate at various London universities, including St Mary's University in Twickenham. He became the youngest black professor at the University of Cambridge in 2023, and recently he resigned from Cambridge following plagiarism accusations he denied. But just 9 days after quitting his post, he was found dead at a property in Battersea in South London on Friday afternoon. The Metropolitan Police said his death is being treated as unexpected, but it's not believed to be suspicious, and flowers and cards have been left in remembrance of Jason Arday in Cambridge today. Around 200 people attended a vigil in Cambridge organised by the former professor's postdoctoral students yesterday, and a fundraising page so far has raised over £150,000. The Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, said the former Cambridge professor has faced an unacceptable public hounding. The Prime Minister called Arday's death a tragedy on so many levels and has called for a moment of reflection. And tonight people will be reflecting, and of course there is a family and his friends in mourning.
Yes, of course. Anila, thank you. A teenage boy has pleaded not guilty to the murder of a 12-year-old who was hit by a car near Brentwood. Bobby Bloomfield suffered serious injuries and died in hospital. The 15-year-old boy, who's too young to be named, is due to stand trial later this year. A court heard today how double killer Simon Levy was accused of stabbing a prison guard in the neck with a pen and trying to strangle him. The 41-year-old, who's serving a whole life sentence for murdering 2 women in Tottenham, was charged following an incident at Belmarsh Prison. Levy denies the charges. And Charing Cross and Waterloo East reopened to southeastern passengers today. The stations have been out of action for 22 days for major engineering work. Nearly 2 kilometres of track have been replaced and parts of the platform repaired. Thousands more black cabs will carry military-style bandages to help stop serious bleeding in the critical minutes before paramedics arrive. The rollout means around half of London's iconic fleet will be equipped with special kits that are often used to treat stab wounds or injuries from road crashes. A green window sticker lets you know if a cabbie is carrying one, and it might just help save a life, as Rags Martel reports.
You tear open the packet, place the pad over where it's bleeding, wrap it around a couple of times.
It takes seconds to save a life.
And then you feed it into the pressure bar applicator, which will stem the blood loss.
What's the reason for this? Why do we need this?
In a nutshell, when it comes to a serious hemorrhage, you can bleed to death in under 5 minutes, the grim fact. And the quicker treatment begins, the better your chances of survival. Here's the kit, mate.
Alex Chivers is on a mission.
No one's expecting you to jump out and have to become a paramedic.
To make these potentially life-saving kits accessible on all our streets.
And it's not just about knife crime, it's not just about terrorism. It's people being knocked off bikes, people with injuries on the high street with glass, drunken injuries. It's all about those golden 5 minutes when you've got serious blood loss.
And this is the Rapaid charity's biggest rollout, making the bandages available to almost half of all black cab drivers. And one of the first to carry the kit is Brooke Macrina.
I think it's a brilliant idea. You know, I've been out on the road for 9 years now and I have seen accidents and, you know, I've had nothing in the taxi to sort of support or help in any kind of way. So especially it being in the taxis, once people know that they're available, how many taxis there is across London, I think it'll be great for them to know and for them to say, you know, we need that, can you stop?
You're often called the 5th emergency service. How true is that?
That's absolutely true. There's a very good reason for that. Because every time something's happened in London, and I'm thinking there was awful attacks at London Bridge and elsewhere, it was the cab drivers that went to the scene. They helped take the walking wounded to hospital. They were taking people away from the scenes for free. And so we're there, we're part of this city.
All these black boxes are full of these Rapaid kits, which cost £50 each. And over the next few weeks, 7,000 black cab drivers will have these in their cabs. But the dream, of course, is that every single black cab driver has this set on them.
I could see blood was coming from the back of the person's head.
And this black cab driver used the kit on a woman who was hit by a car.
I wouldn't like to say, but she would have lost a lot more blood before the ambulance got there. In all intensity, it probably might have saved the woman's life.
Straight away, when you open the pack, you've got a nice, clear, rigid instruction card. If somebody can see that sticker on a taxi, flag the taxi down. Hey, something's horrible's happened. We need those bandages.
This cab could be passing you, your child, your wife, somebody when they need it, and that kit's going to be there.
People are on their way, no doubt, with all the kit, but this is the difference. In those first 5-10 minutes, you know, can make all the difference.
And there's also a tube campaign making sure Londoners know where to find help when every second counts. The message is, act quicker, look for the green sticker. Rags Martel, ITV News.
OK, still to come on the programme tonight, Rubbish Reborn. We meet the Londoners helping turn waste into something wonderful. Plus, the girls upping their game with basketball's serial trophy winners. But first, how one man's search for his stolen phone turned into a shock discovery in a park in Lewisham. Michael Akwagwu is able to pinpoint his device thanks to some tracking software. It took a few hours, but it paid off in more ways than he expected. Michael didn't just find his phone, he uncovered an entire stash. Olivia Mustafa went to meet him.
Not one, not two, but 6. When Michael set off with a friend to track down his stolen phone, he never expected to find it, along with 5 other snatched devices stashed in a southeast London park.
I think it was a mixture of like shock, disbelief, I guess, but also joy that, okay, there's other people that we've happened to find their phones as well as our own. But yeah, quite insane that 6 are just literally like hidden in the park.
Michael's phone was stolen by someone in a bike in Surrey Quays on the 10th of August. He then tracked it down to a park in Deptford, but he wasn't alone. They bumped into Miguel, whose phone was also swiped that day in the same area, and then they struck gold.
So the first phone, I found it was hidden just under there, in that little opening. And then the second phone was just right over there in the other opening over there. And then the other 4 phones, it was right over there in that corner. I just grabbed a stick and just started poking through the mud and the grass, and eventually found like a shiny screen covered in dirt. That just waked something up inside of me and just thought, just keep going, like it has to be here.
If you recently had your phone stolen by a bike thief in southeast London, we found your phones.
Michael then took to TikTok, hoping to find the owners of the other phones. It's since been viewed 500,000 times, including by one of the other victims who got their phone back. The Met Police say they're cracking down, and phone theft has fallen by 16.5% in London between last year and the year before. But Michael feels that it's not enough.
I do think they do need to be doing more. I think because they probably hear a lot of counts of or situations of people getting their phones stolen, it almost seems like, oh, just another day in the office. And it did kind of feel like I'm another number in this ticket of people who are going through a similar thing.
The Met tell us tackling phone theft is a priority and they understand the impact on victims. But it's still a crime which has Londoners watching their backs and for some, taking matters into their own hands. Olivia Mustafa, ITV News.
Now, last month we heard from the first of our council leaders about what they want from new Prime Minister Andy Burnham. Labour-controlled Barking and Dagenham spoke about the challenges of unemployment and child poverty. Tonight, it's the turn of Conservative-run Hillingdon Council, and I'm joined by their leader, Steve Tuckwell. Thank you very much for coming in. Now, listen, every place has its standout concerns and characteristics. For lots of people, when they think of Hillingdon, they think of Heathrow, don't they? And they think of the big issue of whether there's going to be this third runway. You're not keen. Just remind us why you're not.
So Heathrow Airport sits within Hillingdon Borough. We're very proud to have Heathrow Airport with us, but on the basis of expanding Heathrow, we're calling on government to recognise the significant impact that expansion of Heathrow will have on our residents and on our businesses and on the entire borough, not just where Heathrow is located.
The Starmer government backed it fully, but we know that in the past our new Prime Minister Andy Burnham has raised concerns. Does that give you any hope that it might not happen?
Well, what we're feeling in Hillingdon at the moment is we've got 2 competing applications for extending the runway, which is causing immense confusion for our residents and for our businesses. The government have allowed that to happen. It's the first time in sort of planning infrastructure history we've had 2 development consent orders be allowed to progress at the same time. So we're calling on government to kind of referee that so that we have some absolute clarity. We need to be planning for whatever the government are going to decide to do. As it stands at the moment, we're firmly opposed to the expansion of Heathrow Airport. It will have devastating consequences for our residents, for households and for our businesses as well. And we've just seen the London plan published for consultation. That London plan, I think, says 3 lines about Heathrow expansion. So we're again calling on the Mayor of London to come out and sort of, have a clarified position on what Heathrow expansion would mean for Hillingdon.
It's the uncertainty, isn't it? Uncertainty's not good for anything, I don't think.
Indeed, we've been seeing residents, and I'll say it, they've had the sword of Damocles hanging over our residents for 3 or 4 decades now, and we need that clarity.
And now another massive issue for all boroughs, not just for Hillingdon, is housing. You mentioned City Hall there. It has a plan, I think, which is out for consultation for badly needed new homes. They say every borough needs to play its part, but you're saying that Hillingdon is being unfairly targeted with the numbers that they're suggesting, aren't you?
So I'll be very clear. Hillingdon is desperate for housing, as you say, our other local authorities across London and indeed beyond. But we've seen the London plan come out for consultation last week or the week before, and that London plan certainly does not have the interests of Hillingdon at its heart. It's calling for 24,000 homes to be built over the next 10 years. 14,000 of those, 61%, is earmarked to be built on our green belt. Now, Hillingdon is a large borough. It's one of the greenest in London. We're very proud of our green spaces, but we do believe that we have a better place. We can build Hillingdon homes for Hillingdon people with the right infrastructure in the right places. The London plan doesn't talk to that. Hillingdon has a plan which we can achieve actually more than what the London plan says. OK,
so you've got your eyes on other bits?
We're going through our own local plan process, and we believe that we can actually now deliver the housing that Hillingdon needs in the right places with the right infrastructure.
OK, and are you confident that you could talk to City Hall about this and have some kind of negotiation?
Yeah, well, my door's always open, and we have a good relationship with the Greater London Assembly on a variety of cross-London topics. But in terms of what the London plan is suggesting for Hillingdon is just disproportionate. And our residents are very fearful of what it will do to our cherished green spaces.
We're running out of time. I do just want to touch on one final thing, fairer funding. It's quite a dry term, but essentially it means that councillors who face bigger pressures get more money from the government. It's being phased in, but you think not quickly enough. We've just got 20 seconds
Absolutely. Well, we welcome the fact that the government has recognised that Hillingdon has been underfunded for many, many years. The problem we've got is that the phasing of that funding in 3 years' time is actually going to cost Hillingdon residents over £40 million, should I say, and that's just something that we need to be dealing with and recognising that needs to be closed.
OK, so much to talk about, isn't there? Steve Tuckwell, thank you ever so much for coming in. Now, what if the things we throw away could instead be turned into something amazing? Unwanted fabric, paint, buttons and even bubble wrap are being rescued from the bin and given a second life. In the next part of her Warrior to Warrior series, where Sally meets Londoners finding creative ways to protect the planet, she caught up with the volunteers of the Work and Play scrap store in Tooting, who have stopped tons of waste going to landfill.
From the outside, this is a fairly unassuming housing estate in Tooting. But take a closer look and you'll spy anything but ordinary on the inside. But what exactly is it and all this stuff? Let's take a tour.
Haberdashery. So we have actually thousands of buttons.
And that's just the start. There is so much here. Look, patterns, bits of plastic, then materials, so much material, and stationery. The Work and Play scrap store takes in unwanted items from individuals and industries, from the ordinary to the extreme.
There was a sleigh.
2 tons of scallop shells.
A horse.
Lots of false chattering teeth.
Was there an ostrich?
So even like the corks from somebody's weekend of drinking. We take those and they can be made in.
It's existed for nearly 40 years. Anyone can be a member and for a small annual fee take whatever they want. Like Sophie, a sustainable fashion designer.
Yeah, it's just been amazing. It's been life-changing. I introduced someone to the scrap store. The first thing they saw, it's, why did I know about this place earlier? Why, this is what I needed in my life.
Oh, look, that's a brown.
Teresa is one of their longest-serving volunteers for 30 years who remembers when this place was based out of porter cabins.
We shared it with the rain and the foxes and had to make sure every morning that there weren't any foxes making themselves comfortable. Yes.
In all the scraps?
Yes.
From humble beginnings, their impact on reducing waste is huge.
We're not recycling, we're reusing. And that's above recycling, reusing.
On that, even one of the toilets has been reused.
In the last 2 years, We've diverted £750,000 worth of materials from ending up in the bin.
£750,000.
£750,000, yes.
Thank you, Scrapstore. They now have 1,600 members and 50 volunteers. And whether people are giving, taking or helping, they are a community who've gone from worrying about waste to becoming a bastion of a better way.
That was an eye-opener, Sally.
Wasn't it? And everything had its place. And the stationery. Do you like stationery?
I love stationery.
Oh, it was amazing. And then that girl, Sophie, cycled from Walthamstow to Tooting with nothing on her bike, and then all that stuff. The bike was so heavy, I couldn't even support it. I mean, I know I'm not, muscles, but...
With all the bubble wrap. Amazing, I love it. And I love Teresa.
Oh, she was gorgeous, wasn't she? I asked her if she could sum it up in one word, and she said, "Oh, you are awkward, Sally." Not for the first time.
I've been saying it for a while. What's going on with the weather then?
Well, we've got a change in the air. Lick your finger, hold it up.
Yeah.
It is finally a little bit more unsettled, and we might get some rain. In fact, I even woke up to a bit of rain last night. So yeah, it's just a question though of how much and where it's going to come. And it's also just going to be a little bit cooler, so people can look forward, hopefully, to some of that. Here we go.
Come rain or shine, Octopus Energy sponsors ITV London weekday weather.
Hello again. I hope you had a great start to the week. Someone did. A successful fishing trip. Now, we have got a mostly dry start to this week, but as you might have seen, there's been a tiny bit of rain around, maybe got a bit, an increasing chance as we go through the rest of the week, particularly on Thursday, that we might see a bit more, but not guaranteed. It's also gradually going to get cooler. So let's take a look and see what's causing this change, and it's because low pressure is going to become more dominant. And really, as I said, it's on Thursday that we've got the highest chance of getting some downpours. Some could even be heavy, but they are also looking a bit hit and miss. So it's just still changing, one to watch at the moment. By Friday, we've got that cooler air coming down from the north, and so those temperatures will go to probably below average. Quite a change from what we've been used to. Now, for this evening, you might get a shower, but for most of us, it's pretty dry overnight. We're going to see more cloud move in. By the end, maybe the odd bit of rain to the north, but like I said, plenty of dry weather. But those temperatures are going to be mild, and it is going to be quite muggy, quite like last night. A few spots staying in those mid to even high teens. And then as we go into tomorrow, quite a cloudy start. You might get a little shower through rush hour in the morning, but plenty of dry weather for the most part tomorrow. It brightens up a little as the day goes on, as that cold front moves through, and it also turns a little bit breezier, a bit fresher through the day into the afternoon. Temperatures still doing well on paper, highs of 25 to 26 degrees, but it won't be quite as warm as it was today. Let's take you into the outlook. So main things to point out: chance of rain increases as the week goes on, and those temperatures are coming down. That's it for now. I'll see you later on. Cheerio.
Octopus Energy sponsors ITV London weekday weather.
Finally, let's end with a real slam dunk from a team that knows a thing or two about success. The London Lions were the first British club to win a European basketball trophy, and the women's team has plenty of UK titles too. They're on the lookout for the next generation of young talent, perhaps someone watching right now, and getting involved is easier than you might think, as Daisy Bussell found out.
Shooting their shot and upping their game. These girls are balling with the best.
Same foot, other foot. Here we go.
It's part of a summer camp organised by the London Lions, putting pupils on court with professionals.
It's a great opportunity, I think, because they know how it feels to be in our position.
And it kind of encourages people, and then they learn how to play it properly, and then they hopefully enjoy it more.
They got people that they know who can help us, so if you're a good head, they probably can help you go pro.
Hi, I'm Lauren Christie. I'm a forward, and I just signed for London Lions for the upcoming season.
Fresh from a 4-year career playing college basketball in the US, Hertfordshire-born Lauren Christie is back home playing for the Lions and says schemes like these are just what the sport needs.
Me, personally, when I was 14, I was travelling 2-3 hours to Manchester to go to a camp, or you would go to camps and there would be 30, 40, 50 kids there. Now, here we are where you have groups of girls that can come to a camp and they're having intimate time with coaches, and you're playing at a high level. You're playing with other kids that are at your level.
Here in Britain, the top tier of the sport is Super League basketball. There are 10 teams across the country, and the Lions represent London. And coaches here hope that sessions like today will be a game changer in growing the sport.
I'm Kyla Nelson, the head coach of the London Lions women's basketball team. Feet don't move. I'm here.
Opportunities and exposure. That's the point of these camps, is to give these girls chances to play basketball, to see what it takes to be at the next level. That's why we have the likes of Lauren here with us. And to enjoy the sport. We forget that part is competing, being around teammates is meant to be fun. And we want these girls to feel as comfortable as possible to do that and just be as big and bold as they want to be.
Many of the girls here today have played from a young age, but already in their short lives, a pattern has emerged.
In my school, I'm the only girl that plays basketball.
I don't play at my school because there's no girls' teams. I used to go to basketball club and there was only me and one other girl.
And the team here are determined not to drop the ball on female focus.
Basketball is one of the most participated sports in the country, but you find a drop-off as the ladies start to get a bit older. So again, creating a space where it's female-led, I think is super important, because then they feel more comfortable and confident.
The London Lions women have achieved championship glory both at home and in Europe. And by sharing their success with the grassroots this summer, it seems everyone is a winner. Daisy Bussell, ITV News.
So impressive, and Daisy wasn't bad either, was she? That's it from us for now. Mary is here next with the evening news from all of us. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.